At the end of the last episode, we were introduced to the character of Christopher, played by David Sutcliffe. Now, I'm going to be honest, I am not a huge fan of Christopher. He's probably one of my least favourite characters on the show, very much for the same reasons that people dislike Dean, though unlike Dean, when Christopher becomes really unlikable, he sticks around for much longer. However, we fortunately are currently in the point in the show where Christopher is still capable of being likeable and charming. In terms of his character, at least at this point, he's portrayed as a very likeable and caring parent, but is ultimately distant due to his very immature nature and having no real end goal in life.
I'm on the verge of kind of a big success. It's for real this time. I've been tying up the loose ends in my life.
Do they make that much string?
You know, you've always had that verbal thing, quick mind. It's annoying. You have zero faith.
I've known you since I was 6, Chris. You're that guy who crashed his new Porsche 2 hours after his parents gave it to him for his 16th birthday.
But in terms of what he gets up to in this particular episode, now he's finally decided to have a more close relationship with his daughter and ex-partner. Rory decides to take him around Stars Hollow. Though for this particular episode, with how everyone's acting around Christopher, you'd be forgiven for thinking that this was Royston Vasey.
You know, Christopher, we're all like Rory's parents around here, and I'm one of her mothers. And since you're her father, well...
I haven't seen you before. Are you local?
And it soon becomes clear that despite his very cool demeanour, he's clearly having some issues.
Come on, what's the book of your dreams right now?
Well, that would definitely be the compact Oxford English Dictionary. It costs a fortune.
Now, you need something to remember this visit by.
I'm sorry, Christopher, but your card's been rejected.
Rejected? What are you talking about?
Someone not privy to Christopher's financial struggles is in fact Emily, who, on learning that he is back in town, decides to invite him along with the girls to Friday night dinner.
Christopher's parents are in town, too. You remember Strobe and Francine, don't you? I called them up and invited them to dinner.
It's quite a gathering, Mom.
Well, I should say so. We haven't all been together since the two of you were children.
And let me tell you, if you thought Richard and Emily could be bad at some points, just you wait and see. For starters, while the Gilmores don't exactly have the best relationship with Lorelai, they still want a relationship with her and definitely want to have one with Rory. Initially, things start off okay, but that's mainly because Christopher's parents haven't arrived yet. And when they do, despite Rory and Lorelai's best attempts, they are very clearly being looked down upon, and Christopher's parents make sure to be as condescending as possible.
Tell me, Lorelai, what have you been doing with your life anyway?
Well, Strobe, I run an inn near Stars Hollow.
And is your life everything you hoped it would be?
Yes, it is.
Because it seems to me you might not want to take quite such a haughty tone when you announce to the world that you work in a hotel. And I wouldn't give a damn about you derailing your own life if you hadn't swept my son along with you.
That is until Lorelai finally snaps.
I hate President Bush.
What? That is the leader of our country, young lady.
A mutual mistake was made many years ago by these two, but they've come a long way since.
Even Richard finally loses it with them and calls them out on their terrible behaviour and finally starts defending his daughter. It is a really, really powerful moment for Richard.
I don't care about how good a student you say that girl is.
Hey!
You recant that, Stroke.
Spilling my drink.
You owe my daughter an apology.
An apology? That is rich.
How dare you? How dare you?
Richard, what
How
are you
dare you
doing?
come into my house and insult my daughter?
I do think the latest scene where Lorelai goes to thank Richard for standing up for her and him not really being that nice to her isn't great.
What are you going to take away from this? That everything that happened in the past is suddenly fine because I defended you?
No. What about what I wanted? Dad, didn't that matter to you at all?
But there was a proper procedure to be followed in a situation like this.
I feel indescribably sad for you right now, Dad.
Well, save your emotions, Lorelai. I've had my fill of them tonight.
Fortunately, we do move on to a much, much better scene, where I believe we get the first proper moment alone between Emily and Rory.
Strobe is actually a good man. Oh, let's face it. He's a big ass. I know you heard a lot of talk about various disappointments this evening. You, young lady, your person and your existence have never ever been, not even for a second, included in that list.
And Lorelai repeats a similar sentiment later on. Emotional and exhausted, Lorelai and Christopher end up having a moment alone together and decide to partake in something that I can't show you. All the while, Lorelai can't help but think she's forgotten something. Or someone. The following morning, Lorelai realises both her mistakes, that being sleeping with Christopher, and of course, forgetting about Luke, and she makes sure to rush to him straight away to apologise.
I feel horrible.
Don't.
I stood you up. I didn't even call.
It's okay.
I am a rat. We had a date and I stood you up.
You really didn't want to do it in the first place.
No, come on. Don't change your mind. We can do it tonight or right now.
Something came up.
Yeah.
Something, someone.
Luke.
Am I right?
I'm sorry.
And to make matters worse, when she gets home,
I want to marry you.
You are completely insane. You have flipped your lid. Charlie Manson is freaked out by you right now.
I want financial statements? I can be a family man. I'm responsible now.
Honey, you can't even buy a book without having your credit card declined.
as it's been alluded to throughout the episode, he really needs to sort his life out, and getting married is just the worst idea. He decides to make his goodbyes and leave, hopefully, finally trying to make something of himself. Eventually, Lorelai is able to make it up to Luke, and the two of them finally start decorating the diner.
It looks pretty good.
Ah, I knew you'd like it.
Thanks.
Anytime. Can I make one more suggestion?
Nope.
Curtains.
No.
And so ends Christopher Returns. From the sounds of it, it seems like I'm quite harsh on this episode, which isn't really true, as I'd say this is probably one of the better Christopher episodes, as it does a good job at showing that while he is likeable and charming, he has way too many flaws to be with Lorelai and really needs to sort himself out. That is all for now. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please support the channel by hitting subscribe, turning on notifications, liking and commenting. You can find and follow me on Twitter here, and I'll see you next time for Star-Crossed Lovers and Other Strangers.
Lorelai, Christopher is in town.
Oh, what? I didn't know. Although, coincidentally, I'm sitting across from an amazing Christopher hologram.